see where I can put this fucking thing. Something like this? No. Hold on, guys. Try to figure out something. Maybe something like this.
An amazing yet simple story.
Shitty bang bang. Let people come in real quick before I tell you what the fuck's going on. Alright. Well, so, let people get in here. If anyone even fucking comes in here, we'll see. This is just a question and answer type video day today. Doing a little bit of trimming. But no one's in here, and it's been a minute. So no one has their bell notification icon clicked on. And I haven't done a live in probably 2 or 3 years. Probably 3 years or so. So we'll see who wants to hang out and who wants to chill. I'm going to figure this shit out. Okay, I got live chat going, I think. I got one person in here. If you guys want any questions to be answered, if you guys want any anything, let me know. I'm bored. I'm doing a bit of trimming today, as you can see. So I'm in trim jail, and I'm bored. So as I'm trimming along, if you guys got questions, if you guys want to fucking chat, if you want to be like, Opex, you're fucking ripped. You're fucking beast, man. Say whatever, man. But I'm going to be doing a lot of trimming here. And in fact, let's put this up on the thingamabob. Thanks, a good Samaritan. But yeah, hang out with me, guys. I am doing trimming. So during the trimming process, it's going to take a long time. So I'm just going to be chilling here for probably a few hours. I just ate. I'm sober. I'm not, stoned or anything. So I can chat. But I have a lot of shit to do here. So let's do that. Again, ask me questions if you got questions. This is the time. Last time I did a live, I think I got like 4 people in here. But since then, YouTube's been really fucking with me. So I'd be damned if I even get a second person to visit. Where do I get my info? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, the majority of my info is literally in my noggin. I locate information and I rev it through a lens of, is this real? Is this fake? I run it through the barrel of variables that are possible. So everything in my life, I get information everywhere. So should you. I get information from terrible sources, so from great sources, from terrible sources. Point is, just because I get information does not mean it's true. And just because it's from a source does not mean it's true. See, I think of things all the time that are either really, really helpful or really bad, right? And that's how I look at life. I don't really believe in good and bad as much as intention, right? Like if you have good intention, the information could still be wrong, right? You can have the greatest intention ever. So pretty much, ultimately, I get my information from here. And if it does not exist in reality, like if I get information like, the viral is going to kill us all. Yeah, I studied virology. So yeah, I actually know what virology entails. So of course, if I understand virology, how can you tell me something that contradicts that, right? So I put all information through the lens of my noggin and really put it through a filter. But yeah, that's about it. But trimming cannabis, I love cannabis. It's one of my favorite things in the world is growing cannabis, cultivating. But I'm in trim jail right now. And trim jail, it's a lot of work. Any questions, I'm definitely free to answer. I'm going to try to put this in a better location so you don't fucking see me down here and trying to fucking be like, hey, here I am, guys. Anyways, I'm weird on these lives. So I'm just going to fucking hang out. You guys give me the questions, I will answer. Ask me anything. Don't give a damn. I'm bored, and if you're bored, let's chill. We might do a little bit of smoky later. I'm actually going to probably get you guys up, propped up here a little bit better. Let's see. Hide all chats. No. What's this do? Oh, I better not fuck with it. But what's going on here? Yeah, okay, I think that's good enough. So if you do want to get a lot of good info, if you are here and you want to know where to get good info, you really have to go through the ringer of, is it under the Disney umbrella, the information you're getting? Because that is going to be, whether it's Fox News or CNN, it's pretty much the same news. It's just through different lens of biases. But the agenda is the same. You get your vaccination, you get that passport, and hey, you can live a normal life until we turn your chip off. But the point is, guys, get information from really good sources like wearechange.org. Luke Radowski, great resource when it comes to independent journalism. If you really want a really, really good anarchist channel, you're going to have to go to Odyssey or Library. If you want any good info, you got to get off YouTube. You ain't getting good info on YouTube anymore. Corbet Report, done. Dollar Vigilante, done. Everything's on Odyssey, Library.tv. And that's where it's all at now. So, with that being said, pretty much get off YouTube if you want information that is going to be reasonable, accurate, and independent. Can you guys hear me okay? I feel like if I'm going to yell and stuff, I might as well... here, I'm trying to figure shit out here. Anyways, I'm just going to trim. Feel free to like this content if you want to just chill with me, relax. I'm not playing any music in the background or anything because of strikes, and you already know I got strikes on this channel because I speak the truth. But we got some dank sticky icky here. I've been into philosophy since, that's a good one. That's actually a good question. That's probably one of the better questions I'd ever expect. See, because philosophy is one of those weird things that it's based on your mind and your interpretation of reality and how reality entails based on the evidence and the reasoning behind it and your logic. So if you are going to read the Bible, let's say, or any book for that matter, you left. If you read the Bible, for example, and in that Bible, you're reading it, and let's say you're 10 years old. You're reading the Bible, you're only going to get a small understanding of that. You're still here, but it says I have no one watching me. Weird. Anyways, so if you're reading the Bible at the age of 10, you're not going to understand what the hell you just read because you don't have a firm grasp on reality, right? But if you read the Bible at 40, well, how you understand the world, how you understand concepts, how you understand how things work, your wisdom level, etc., it's going to be a lot different, right? In terms of your understanding and how much you can understand from that book. So what philosophy really is something that we all do at all times, right? Because we're always thinking, we're always trying to understand what's around us, what the universe is. Now, the education system wants to stop us from that, right? So the education system wants us to be dumb, docile little sheep that just conform to whatever they want. This would be like your mindset has to be on their ideological realm in order to succeed or pass, right? Or to be a part of society as they want, right? Where you're not asking any questions. Philosophy is essentially taught in schools to be like, oh, philosophy was like 2,000 years ago. So we're going to study Socrates and the Socratic method and all that. That's not what philosophy is. Philosophy is by the subject. Philosophy is something that you go through every single day trying to understand reality. But the education system wants us to regurgitate information on command, which may or may not be true, but it does affect our psyche and it affects how we understand reality, which undermines our brain's interpretation of reality. Or undermines or overmines? I don't know what. Yeah, undermines. So I've been doing philosophy my whole life. I've been active with my philosophy for about 8-9 years. 8-9 years. I guess that's a way to answer that question. I've been doing this for like trimming for like 2 weeks now straight. I've done about a pound so far. I got a lot more to go. I have so much pot. I don't even know what to do with it. I can't smoke it fast enough, and my caregivers or my patients don't smoke nearly as much as they claim. Oh, yeah, I'm going to need 3 ounces in 3 months. So every 3 months, I need 3 ounces. That's one plant that I grow in 3 months, right? It takes about 3 months with the flowering time, etc. Flowering 2 months, 1 month veg. That's 3 ounces right there. So I only need one plant per person, but they don't even do the 3 ounces. 3 ounces lasts them a lot more than 3 months. But me? No. Anyways, you guys know this is a philosophy channel, so just know that anything is open. You can ask anything. I can give you information damn near on anything. Because this is a subject matter, it's not like I'm giving you concrete evidence. I'm just using evidence that we can both agree on and throw it through the lens of reasoning and logic. That's what philosophy is. And I'm sorry if it's like boring because you're just watching me fucking doing this. It is what it is. I'm just a little bored. Maybe other people are bored. This is a way to interact. And I definitely want to have other content coming soon because YouTube's shadow banning my content. And so I'm trying to come up with different ideas, maybe satire, different, I don't want to call it acting, but like make different skits and videos that are more intelligent, more fun. I think you guys would appreciate that more than just my content and getting shadow banned, right? But it definitely says I have no one in here, but one person keeps popping up once in a while. I don't know how this shit works. Anywhere but Cali, buddy. Anywhere but Cali. I live in New York now. You know, I moved up to New York in 2017. I was in Florida. I believe, without a shadow of a doubt, it was the worst decision I've ever made in my life. I'm not just saying that. I've made terrible decisions. I've been to jail many times. I've been in the back of a police car many times. I've made terrible decisions many times. The worst decision I ever made was moving to New York from Florida. Florida was the shit. Florida's warm, it's comfortable. There's no one crying about masks, and they're not dumb TV watchers. They are outside and getting fresh air, and they communicate with each other's neighborhoods. You know, when you go up to New York, these neighborhoods don't know each other, and they're going to call the cops whenever they see any suspicious behavior. It's fucking backwards. Florida, it's respect, right? Everything's respect first. New York is the opposite. New York's almost like we're doomed. Especially you guys probably heard about New York City vaccine passports. But anywhere other than California is a guaranteed increase in your lifestyle, in your life, your happiness, your longevity. Maybe you want all 4 seasons. I mean, depending on where you are in Cali. I mean, northern Cali you can get some snow, but southern Cali you don't get no snow. Like there's things to experience in life, and I would suggest the top 2 states, Texas and Florida. Florida being number 1, Texas being number 2. Best states. You don't need to have a political ideology or background or bias. Literally everything's cool in Florida. Everything's cool in Texas. Literally everything's cool. So I would suggest those two. But anywhere is better than Cali. I'd say even New York's better than Cali. You know what I mean? But it's all up to you. I mean, you know what you want out of life. California is just one of those shitholes that are doomed. You're doomed in Cali. I'm sorry. There's millions of people. You're all vaccinated. And all they have to do is shut off the water supply and you're all dead. You're all dead. So I wouldn't suggest moving to Vegas or, anywhere, Arizona, that ain't getting water. When shit hits the fan, California's dead. Dead. There's going to be no more truckers going into the California. There's going to be no water. You're going to need water, and not just to bathe in, to survive, to drink. So I'd suggest getting out of California, especially when you know that, how society and the world's going right now. We don't have much time. So in California and New York are the 2 places that are center of attention, the leaders of the New World Order, and where they want to start the bullshit. Mayor de Blasio of New York wants vaccine passports. Can you guess who's the next one to get the vaccine passports? Los Angeles, San Diego, achoo. Sorry, guys. They're next. So unless you're all vaxxed and ready to die, you should start taking care of yourself and get the fuck out of Dodge when you know that Dodge is about to get really bad. Not just homeless bad. Water isn't going to be a thing. Aqueducts, I'd worry about water before anything, then food, then worry about where you're living. Personally, I'd say that because shit's going to get bad. And I'm not just saying that because I'm one of those guys that believe in the end of times and shit. Not because of that. The writing's on the wall. Get the fuck out of California. Get the fuck out of New York. If I was in New York City right now, I'd get the fuck out. But I'm in upstate New York, which pretty much entails there's a city right over there, 3 miles away, 2.5 miles away or so. That's the city. And guess what? When the trucks stop coming in, which will happen, it's going to happen soon. I mean, you need a vaccine passport to drive a truck. 3/4 of the truckers aren't going to get it. Even though most of the truckers are kind of dumb. So that's my suggestion is get the fuck out of California. Go to a state that actually rains so you survive. Of course, they keep pressuring you to get it because they've been so scared they had to get it too. And in my opinion, don't get it. If you know anything about virology, you understand that unless there's a virus in the vaccine, there isn't. Unless there's a virus in the vaccine, you can't even call it a vaccine. 2, if you get that, you're more apt to hurt others because you are now a reproduction of that antibody and you're going to affect others. You're going to give them blood clots and all types of problems, cardiovascular problems to lung problems. And you're not stopping the virus. In fact, you are amping it up if you have the virus, if you have the vaccine. So if you actually had a virus in your vaccine, a coronavirus, then I would almost be like, maybe you should take it. But because there's no virus, and we all know without a shadow of a doubt that you can still spread the disease, what are we doing? And plus becoming an antibody factory designed to kill you? Stay away from sugar and carbs and viruses, and you survive. How they amp these viruses up? Sugar and carbs. And guess what? Sugar's in everything. Everything. Everything, guys. Sugar's in everything. So it's amping up these virals. Anyways, so get the fuck out of California while you still can. I don't care if you got $5 to your name or not, or every place by next year at this time will require a vaccine passport. So there's going to be a 2-tier system. People are vaccinated, people are not. People are vaccinated can do whatever the fuck they want, right? As you already, you can go to concerts and do all that stuff. But what's going to happen to people like me and you who don't have that vax? You're going to have to get food and water every day for yourself. Make sure you have food and water. And how do you do that? Self-sustainability. That's why there's a lot of preppers on the internet trying to make you a prepper. And guess what? Us preppers get nothing out of you being a prepper. Except maybe the point is, if I'm trying to help you and prep for you, or try to get you to understand that there's a need for prepping because the world's turning to shit, that should tell you right then and there is a way in the 2-tier system to survive. You don't need to survive by going to Walmart no more. You're going to need to survive by having your own chicken farm and your own hens and your own stuff. What's up, Dragos Loncreción? Sorry if I obviously pronounced that wrong. I'm an American. I'm just some dumbass American who likes to smoke pot. But yeah, I got some Blue Dream here. I think this is Blue Dream. Yeah, this is Blue Dream from Clone. Nice and sweet. Oh, man, I can't wait to smoke this. Can't wait. Life is good. So, at the end of times, I'd say 100% prep. Make sure that you are in a place that no one's going to hurt you. You're in a place that has water, meaning rain or pond or river or some sort of water, and having your own food, meaning you're able to collect your eggs every single day and have sustainable food every single day. Now, if you can make that happen, you don't have to worry about any of this vaccine shit. You think I'm worrying about this vaccine shit? You think I'm worried about the New World Order and Bill Gates and stuff? You think I'm worried about them? First off, if Bill Gates was in the vicinity of me, he couldn't hang mentally with me. He couldn't hang physically with me or spiritually. He'd get destroyed, right? Dr. Fauci, who ain't a doctor, he's just an enthusiast of making sure everyone gets immune system problems, right? So I would destroy these people, right? If Satan himself was to put me on top of a Mount Sinai and try to convince me to do evil, he wouldn't stand a chance with me. So I'm not worried at all about any of this shit. All right, let me read your shit again. Favorite books. That's a good one. Right now I am reading. This is the King James Version, 1611. I'm an advocate for King James, but if you read the Bible at all, I'd suggest I suggest reading the Bible. There's other books to read as well, whether it's the Enochs, whether it's there's other biblical or religious texts that I've been diving into recently. I love it. Right now I'm in the book of Job. So that's what I'm reading. But don't get it confused here, guys. It's not like you guys watched my channel for long enough where you know I'm not here to preach religion. I'm a philosopher. But I read these books because I get a lot of wisdom and understanding of the past. Because even the people at the times, like for example, Job, probably was written probably 1700 BCE or something like that, right? No one really knows when Job was written, but it was the oldest uh, text, right? So Job was written so long ago, but there's a lot of things in Job that show you an understanding of reality and how life was 4,000 years ago, and show you how life was in terms of how women produced things in society, and men, and how religion and spirituality played a role. And I think a lot of that stuff is important to understand what we're doing now to deviate from the past. See, because now what we're doing is we're all self-enlightened and we all know everything, right? So religion couldn't exist. And I believe that if you go into the past and you understand what they understood, there's a lot of things to appreciate and to understand that the world how we're living now isn't how it was intended to be. So I think a lot of those older religious texts are good to understand the past without the education camps trying to produce information into you to make you an obedient worker slave, right? And Judaism and Christianity align more along the lines of righteousness and what's right. So if you're trying to be moral and what's right and do what God wants from you, you're going to be spiritually enlightened. You're going to have better powers physically, mentally, and spiritually. You're going to be more wise. You're going to have more people in your family that look up to you and expect things from you or value from you, whether that's helping them move or, oh, I don't know how to change a tire, but this guy does because he's a man. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of those things help the man. And I think that anything that you can do to increase your physical, mental, and spiritual health, I don't care what book that comes from. I don't care what book that comes from. I don't care. It's not the book, it's the value. Does that make sense? So if there's value in that book, physically, mentally, and spiritually enlightening you, or allowing you to become your greatest version or happier, etc., that's the book. There's a lot of books out there, but I'm not much of a reader. I'm just reading the Bible right now. All right. No problem. Tip for others: don't tell people I'm prepping. Okay, I won't tell. Don't tell people I'm prepping. What are you talking about? I try to look and act as blue-pilled as possible. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that, because if everyone around you is blue-pilled or seeming blue-pilled, it's probably because you are. Because if you were red-pilled, it doesn't matter what people think of you. I know what you're getting at. Don't get me wrong. I know that you're like, oh, I don't want to be prepping and having all this guns and ammo and food storage and stuff just for the bully on the block just to take it from me. I get that. But the thing is, if you are a fucking man, you'll say that. You'll say, I am prepping. Because what's this other person going to do to you? If you're an alpha male and you're prepping, they're behind you. They're behind you. And if you want to be the light in the world, you're going to raise that vibration, and everyone around you will increase their vibration and become better and more sustainable and valuable and respectable, etc. So I think that prepping and stating your intention is very good in your community. In fact, when I hear somebody around me is prepping, I ask them a lot of questions. So just in that ideology or idea, you can see the increase in desire to prep just from others doing it. You can look at a video on YouTube from a prepper, you know directly right away that this guy's doing the right thing. He's not a psychopath who's, oh my God, aliens are going to come down. I got to prep for that. No, it's reasonable shit. EMP attacks to coronaviruses to whatever, right? It's reasonable shit. Make sure your food, shelter, and clothing is taken care of, and your water, obviously. Because if you take care of those four things, it doesn't matter anything else. And I get that you got to protect your shit and learn how to use guns and have enough community to back you up so you're not alone just stocking things for the bullies and the gang members. I get that. But tell people you're prepping because that will tell them that they're behind and they need to start getting their ass in gear. All right. I don't know why I suck at fucking this shit. Been a Christian all my life, and I've started reading the Bible seriously recently. Oh, wow. Good for you, man, because this is my fourth time reading the Bible all the way through, from Genesis to Revelation. I'm in Job right now, so I'm like page 300 or something. But what I'm getting out of the Bible this time is revelation. It's a revelation compared to the last time I did, which I think I was like 21 or 22 last time I read the Bible through. I'm 34, about to be 35. So 14 years ago or so was the last time I read the Bible. And what I am getting out of it now is almost life-changing. Like, I'm talking about the Bible more. Yeah, 21's a good age because that's when you're very curious. You're a few years off of the high school thing where, you need some years off to get your brain to recover and to actually operate properly in society rather than the sit down and shut up mentality at school and regurgitate this on command. Oh, we'll give you an A because you're a fucking moron. Notice, morons get A's, intelligent people don't play ball. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read that. Preaching that comes after saying you are not vaccinated, you are not buying the media propaganda is tiring. Do their best to convince you. Yeah, they're really good at convincing morons, right? If you're watching TV, you can be swindled anyway by the puppet master because you can't think for yourself. Because if you did, you'd be like, everything you see on TV's entertainment, meaning essentially not real. And two, everyone's acting. And they don't have to be in a movie to be acting. Then your news guys reading off the corporate teleprompter. Like, none of this is like real one-on-one information exchange or any type of benefit or help to any of us. In fact, it only separates us because they want to divide us, right? The divide and conquer agenda, making us all think about things that primarily don't exist, like race. Like, are there many different types of cultures in California, for example? Yeah, duh. Everyone lives in California. Asian, black, white, doesn't fucking matter, Latino. But the point that I'm getting at is that they want to separate it by that rather than be a community saying, we need men to lead our children. We need men to lead our children. Period. Not fucking the guy on TV. Your neighborhood should be raising your children. Yeah, we're not going to go back to normal as long as people buy their bullshit, right? And it only takes about 20% of the population to actually buy the bullshit. Seriously. But if they have 1/5 of the population that thinks there's a coronavirus killing people, that's all they need. And then 70% will vaccinate themselves. And then the remainder 30, they're going to have to bully into it, right? So this would be the last attempt, which would be vaccine passports, right? And then after that, you guys think it's done. You guys think it's done. You guys think it's done. No. Because now you have 30% of the population, or probably about 20% of the population, that are undesirables, right? What was that key number again? 20%? They have 20% of the population to agree with it. 80% of the population will do it. The remainder 20 becomes that outside part now, which was the inside part to begin with. If you look at it objectively, if they have 80% vaccine, they have no problem with you choosing, because it's a choice. You chose to get it, you chose not to get it. You chose not to get it, therefore, you get what you get. So, like, if I have a brother and he got out of prison last year, and I said, I don't care if you go back to prison because it's not on me. If you choose to go back to prison, that's on you. And I can't stop you from going back to prison. If you choose to do that, that's on you. That's how people are going to look at this shit in terms of the 20% remaining that refuse to get it. Oh, you chose, it's on you. Now you're going to reap consequences. They're going to go after you like they went after the Jews in World War II. They're going to go after you. So the best thing you can do is perhaps, and I don't know how much I can say here on the YouTubes, get off the grid. Get off computers. Get off all of it. I don't even have an ID right now. Now, I have a driver's license, a CDL, and all that shit, right? I don't care to renew it. Want to know why? I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm an anarchist. I'm already on the fucking terrorist watch list because I'm a fucking alpha male, right? And I'm not afraid to say what I need to say to help others. But the reality of the situation is that those 20% that will be left over, they're going to target. And they're already targeting you now, saying you're going to be a second-tier citizen to try to bully you into getting that vaccine now before the real tribulations come. Who knows if it's going to be door-to-door, if it's going to be military. But they will inject you with the virus. And they've already planned on this. Now, this is something I would expect to come out of Bill Gates' mouth himself, but he has not said it. But there are targets in terms of the CDC that are targeting, and the WHO and the NIH, they're targeting people who aren't getting their vaccine. So they have your name in a database right now, knowing that you don't have one of those coronavirus shots, which, again, there's no coronavirus in it. So what are we doing? But because you don't have it, they're going to your house sometime or another to ask you some questions about why you didn't take it. And of course, they're going to look at it as if 80% of the population is not hurting society, which would be a lie because they are the ones who have antibodies spreading to everyone and viruses spreading to everyone, right? So if 80% of the population they're going to convince you are the good people and 20% are keeping 80% at risk, they're going to do some shit to you. You might end up in a FEMA camp. It's the truth. No one's going to save you, guys. No one's saving you. No one cares about you. If they already have their vaccine, they don't give a fuck about you because in their mind, how they were brainwashed, they're safe. They're safe. They're not coming for them. But believe it or not, they're coming for us all. I've read history books. You know, going back to what you said about books, I suggest understanding history. Anything in history. It doesn't have to be thousands of years ago. It could be just 100 years ago. Because what we understand of history is how we prepare today and how we stop those problems from continuing, whether it's imperialism or whether it's dictatorships or emperors or mass murder or whatever, or slavery. See, when we understand how history works in the mind of a ruler, you know, power inevitably corrupts. If we understand the mind of the ruler and understand that their design is to murder us, guys, Hitler, Mao, Stalin, do I need to keep going? There's 3 names right there in history that showed 100% compliance or 100% goals of murdering their citizens. When Stalin murdered 100 million, let's say 80 million, because I don't even believe their numbers. I'm even going to say 10 million. I don't believe their numbers. But when he started killing and murdering all of his population, did anyone stop him? Hitler killed 6 million Jews. Did anyone stop him? No one's going to stop them from killing you. Read a history book. It's not going to happen, guys. The alpha males that are here to protect you, they're taking us off YouTube. They're taking us off everything. They're trying to take away your guns. You can't even protect yourself. And it all is the same bullshit to lower the population. And you know why, guys? Do you know why they're trying to lower the population? It's not just because it's easier to maintain and control you guys. Yeah, that's a part of it. The real reason they're trying to depopulate the world is because what is greater than having your name marked in history? In the Bible, I dare you to read the book of Judges or any of the books of the Old Testament, almost any of them that we're talking about the Kings, Kings 1, Kings 2. If you're looking at the Old Testament and you're looking at, they say David killed, or no, sorry. Who was David's father? Damn it. Who was the king? Okay, anyways. I don't remember the names of this, but there would be like, this ruler killed thousands of people. How great was he? But this ruler, I'm going to say it's David. Again, I just read the Bible, or this passage probably a month ago or so. Not even. But the point is, David kills tens of thousands. How mighty and great is he? And you know how big of a name David is in the Bible? Maybe because he killed hundreds of thousands of people. And every time they smote people or enemies, they got a bigger name and bigger rewards. Why do we know who Hitler is? Why do we know who the Oklahoma bomber is? See, Stalin, Mao, these names are the greatest names in history. And they were mass murderers. The more you kill, the more your name means in history. Does that make sense, guys? So when Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates wants to kill 6 billion plus people, they want to be the biggest name history's ever had. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. Freedom of speech is deteriorating. That's true. I mean, we're all being siphoned and we're all being PC'd. Because if I say vaccine, I get shadow banned, right? If I say vaccine, you guys are saying vaccine too. We're all saying vaccine. But if I say it over the internet, it's so ridiculous, guys. They're censoring real shit. They're censoring real shit. So their bullshit's the only one that people can think about or listen to or even conceive. So ultimately, that's what I'm talking about here is the world needs a depopulation. I get it. Some people are even up in arms about it, and some people are happy for it. I have anarchist buddies that rich people and billionaires that are super happy this is going on. They are super happy for this depopulation agenda because it's killing all the dumb people. If you're dumb enough to take the vaccine, you know what I mean? When do you think the jabbed are going to go bye-bye? Years from now. It's not going to be next year. Obviously, a good portion, maybe, as Bill Gates once said, if he does a really good job with reproduction health services and vaccines, etc., we can lower the population 10 to 15% if they do a really good job. Well, think of it, guys. About 10% of the population is going to die by the vax itself over the years, the mutation, etc., right? You're harming your immune system. Now, this is what you need to consider. HIV. HIV is one of those things that affect your immune system. And it takes years if you are healthy. And I mean years. Look at Magic Johnson, still alive. Many people still alive or not even knowing that they have HIV. A lot of people have HIV and don't even know it. But the reason I'm bringing up HIV is that if your immune system is attacked and it deteriorates your immune system, anything can kill you after that. So it's to the point of destruction of the immune system. If you're wearing masks, afraid to go outside and get some vitamin D, not communicating with your friends, your neighbors, never getting a breath of fresh air, what's going to happen? You're not hugging your grandma anymore. Your grandma's in a mask alone in a dungeon, not getting any sunlight. Let's say she's 90 years old. My grandma's 91. If she took the vaccine, I wouldn't imagine her living a whole year. In fact, I can't even imagine her living past a few days, let alone a year. But if you're healthy like me and you took the vaccine and you're worried about your immune system, you're going outside, you're exercising, you're getting breaths of fresh air, you're showing love to your family, you're hugging, you're intimate, you're feeling each other, which raises endorphins and purpose and love and like you're there and you're worthy and your value skyrockets. Your immune system is going to be bulletproof even after having HIV, if that makes sense. Sorry. Give a shout. Always like to talk philosophy with authentic people, drink in hand in a cabin near the forest without phones or mics around. You got the right idea, man. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So I have, I'm in my apartment right now, but I also have a farm. I have a camper, a 40-something foot camper. I have chickens, I have a farm, I have tomatoes, I have cannabis, I have all types of stuff, right? I love just being out in nature. I love it. Today's about 90-something degrees Fahrenheit, and it's really warm, and I'd much rather be outside. But I'm here with you guys today, and I think that's cool. Got to do some trimming before it's too late. I have 3 more plants after this, and then I'm taking calls again for other work. But I work 7 days a week. I enjoy myself. I love talking with authentic people or anyone who's willing to talk. If anyone's angry or quick to dismiss you, they're not a real authentic person. How do I deal with family members who took the V? Okay, so I have a stepdad who probably took the vax, and he's very, very, hi, man, I'll take care. Go to the gym, get some gains, bro. Get some gains. Fuck yeah. I have a stepdad that took the vax, most likely, and he's a Christian. And because the Bible says that the mark of the beast is going to be in the head or in the forearm, or hand, sorry. The forehead or the hand. He thinks it's okay to get this vaccine because it's not the mark of the beast, even though everything else about it pretty much says it's the mark of the beast, which would be like you're not going to be able to go and buy and sell goods without the mark of the beast. You're going to be a second tier citizen at the end of times with the mark of the beast. Like all the information points that you should be against the mark of the beast. You should be against vaccine passports, right? Revelation basically tells you that let me get this. Maybe I'm going to butcher the verse. I think it's Revelation 18:23 that says, the world's merchants will be deceived by the pharmaceutical companies. What? It says that in Revelation 18:23. Now, when you're reading that you're not allowed to buy and sell goods or travel or do all these things without the mark of the beast. All of this shit makes sense. All of it. But my stepdad says, well, it's not the mark of the beast because it's not 666. Now, you guys might be new to my channel, but look at my video the patent WO060606, which very, very well might be in these vaccines. And that's why only certain companies can administer it. Because if they have your own mark and your own thing in there, your own chip, right? Then it's 666, right? The Bible says wise men, wise. How many wise men do you know? Not many, right? How many wise men are out there looking at things? Not many. So when there is a wise man to look objectively at 060606 and how it relates to the mark of the beast, go watch that video. That's the mark of the beast. Brought to you by our friend Billy Gates. Ooh, didn't see that one coming. Bill Gates making the mark of the beast and wants us all to get coronavirus vaccines, which has no coronavirus in it. What's in it? What's in it? Does anyone even know what the fuck's in it? Do you know what's in it? Very well could be a chip in all that fluid. Very well could be. I'm not saying there is or isn't, but I read the Bible, and 666, I mean, how I look at it is this, guys. When people have the vaccine, they take it because they were forced to. How do I know this? In 2019, coronaviruses existed. Did anyone line up to get a coronavirus shot? No. They had to be put into a situation where their thinking cap's off and they're bombarded with witchcraft type information, which is chanting. It's all these fucking buzzwords, right? Like it's the get your vaccine or you're hurting other people. Don't you care about others? Don't you care about your grandma? It's like buzzwords, but they chant these things, right? The fuck's his name? George Bush Jr. How many times did he have to say to tell us? Terrorism was the reason 9/11 happened. Terrorism. How many times did he have to tell us? 1,000? You know why? Because the first time we heard terrorist, we'd be like, terrorist? We have the most intelligent CIA the world has ever seen or even heard of. We have the best border patrol the world has ever seen in history. But terrorists with box cutters hijacked an airplane, meaning that they need to know how to drive that airplane because that pilot isn't going to crash and kill himself. None of it makes sense unless you're bombarded over and over. Vaccines are good. 9/11 terrorism. And you have to be told over and over, which desensitizes your natural way of thinking. Because now, the more you hear this, the more you're programming your brain. It's terrorism, terrorism, terrorism. Vaccines are good. Vaccines are good. Everyone who doesn't take the vaccine's bad. And when you're programmed like that, your individual thought will depreciate. And in fact, you will fight in order to that you're biased pro-vaccine rhetoric because it was brought down to you by the sources, that is right. And you need to protect that idea, because if you don't protect that idea, what happens? Individual thought and vulnerability, because now I don't know if left is right or right is left or up is down, or I don't know what the fuck's going on. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to read you. It's not a defoliation. Maybe they will tattoo Grandma Killer on the ones who don't take the vaccine. Grandma Killer. You're a Grandma Killer. You killed Grandma. Even though they are trying to kill Grandma. No, I'm not defoliating, guys. This is ripe. This is ready to go. Take out all the fucking families and etc. Good places, Florida and Texas, or anywhere outside of a major city, at least 20 miles. At least 20 miles. Get 20 miles out of any major city, your ability to survive goes up exponentially. If anything was to shit hits the fan, or if they say, you need a vaccine passport to go buy some groceries. Well, you're not going to need to go get a vaccine passport at that point. You just need food and water. So take care of your food and water. Tennessee's nice. Tennessee's one of my favorite states. Tennessee's one of my favorite states. It's beautiful. Fishing's amazing. I can only say good things about Tennessee, but again, get out of the major cities in Tennessee, and then yes, I agree. But Texas and Florida, those are the only two, and I would tell you that Texas might not be Texas in 5 years. Just letting you guys know, but Florida should be Florida in 5 years. But if everyone moves to Florida, that little panhandle state, it's going to be overpopulated. So why even move there? How many marks out of 10 for your stream? Marks? What do you mean marks? Marks out of 10. Oh, you mean like potency? What do you mean? This is Gorilla. Sorry. This isn't Gorilla Glue. This is Blue Dream. Blue Dream from clone from my last run. But yeah, I definitely have to start doing this. Like I said, I've been doing this for like a week now. Harvesting. I've been harvesting for about a week. Probably got a pound in my closet. I got 4 more plants to go, or 3 more after this one. So this might be alive all night. I don't know. I might just do this all night. But yeah, if you want to say this is Blue Dream, I'd say it's an sativa dominant, probably 60-40 or 70-30 sativa dominant. I call it trim jail. Same thing. Yeah, trim jail. I'm in trim jail, and that's the only reason I'm live right now. I had to turn off my music because obviously the strikes on YouTube and stuff. But I'd rather chat with you guys than be bored alone during trim jail. But as you guys can see, man, it's all flopping. It's all floppy. All flopping over. Matter of fact, let's show you guys the fucking. Let's show you guys something in here. I don't know what you can see in there. But I got a lot more buds in there. All right. And this is a question answer type stream, so feel free to ask any question you want. If you want me to do a video on something specific, let me know and I'll do that next time. If you want any advice, if you want to give me advice, yeah. I saw something. Show up. Show off? I'm not trying to show off. It's just pot. I've been cultivating this for... when did I get out of the truck? 2019? So for 2.5 years I've been cultivating. Man, it feels like a lot longer. What to do with extra cash? You have extra cash? I don't even know what that means. What's extra cash? Do you mean like you want to prep? Do you want to... I don't know what you're asking. If you have extra cash, it's always good to make sure that you have everything together. How do you know you are on a watch list? I heard you speak about it. Yeah, I'm 100% on a watch list. In 2009, I think it's 2009, Obama started his terrorist watch list. And he laid a blueprint of who's going to be on it and for what reasons. And I don't shut up. I'm not PC. So yeah, I know I'm on a list. Right now, if you guys, I'm surprised on how long I'm streaming this because right now on my phone, I'm not allowed to record anything on my phone. You guys think I'm crazy? Someone hacked into my phone. I don't know how. And they are burning up my SD card. And they are preventing my camera from recording. And this is my second time going through this. So someone knows my account, who I am, and wants to prevent me from talking to you guys. True shit. And I realized last week that they're doing it again. So that's why I haven't been uploading very often. Yeah, that's seriously why. What did someone say? Fastest way to get... Oh, instead of keeping money in the bank? Where would you keep money instead of the bank, you're asking? I'm not pro going into precious metals. I don't believe in all that shit. I don't believe in getting gold because if you're going to buy a lot of gold, how is gold going to be useful when shit hits the fan? If money isn't useful, gold won't be useful. It'll be just a paperweight. It'll be the same thing except less useful. In terms of like stock markets or if you're gonna try to increase your money, like that kind of thing, like you're putting it into a savings account and you're racking money over time or anything like that, I'm against because inflation. Next year, that money that you think you're getting interest on isn't even matching inflation. So in fact, the more you save your money, the less it is worth. Less. If you bought a house right now, your house in 10 years will become more valuable. Therefore, more money. But if you kept your money now, that money is going to be worth less in 10 years by a lot. So what I would suggest, if you have money and you want to put it into something that is going to be sustainable or to help you in some way, if you have land, for example, if you have land, you should get some sort of production value out of that land. So this would be like, you want to grow tomatoes, you want to grow cannabis, you want to grow whatever it is that you want to grow, you want to have pigs, do you want cows, do you want horses, do you want to breed chickens, dogs even? There's a huge market for dogs. I would suggest doing something like that, something that is something in motion, something tangible, something you can actually use that will help you survive. Because even if you're breeding dogs, right? In some light, people are going to trade their resources for your dog, right? So if shit hits the fan, barter systems are still going to be of worth. So I suggest learning a trade or understanding that value is more needed than money, right? So if you have value, that value can be offered at an exchange rate with somebody else for something they offer, right? So I would suggest learning a trade, having skills, things like that, and be less apt to be like, I have extra money, so what should I do with it? And just come up with different ideas. I would come up with, if you like chickens like I do, start a chicken coop. Start a run. Start with hens, something small and easy that you know you're getting eggs every day, and go from there. Because then you don't need a vaccine passport. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about that shit. All right. And I think someone else said something. I don't remember. The fastest way to get put on a watch list. Subscribe to Opex. Yeah, pretty much. Land is always a good investment. Yeah, land. That's exactly what I just said. Land's a good investment. If you want to get land, get it now before all properties bought up. Look up BlackRock. BlackRock is right now purchasing all properties on the entire globe, and they're renting it out, making sure no one ever owns property again. So if you have some extra money, buy some property before it's too late, before you're not allowed to own anything anymore. So that's what I suggest. Live chat. That makes so much sense. Thanks. You're welcome. Yeah, I think up here matters a lot more than anything else. If you have a game plan and understanding, if you have knowledge and wisdom, you're going to be okay regardless, right? Regardless if you're not allowed to get food at the supermarket, you're going to be like, okay, I already have farm animals. I already have tomatoes on my property. I'm not going to starve, things like that. And I think that's, especially if you're a woman, I think that it's good to think like that, because men, we have it naturally, but women you kind of need a man around to do it for you. So I think a lot of times women need to start thinking of self-sustainability, and it'll empower yourself too. You're afraid about something. I'm also afraid about the future of transportation. What do I think about electric vehicles? Okay, you ready for this one? Your gas-powered vehicle is not hurting the climate. It isn't. After about 100 years or so, watch my video on climate change, my very last video, which I'm really surprised they didn't take down, because I went ham on the New World Order on that climate change shit. Electric vehicles are going to be a thing. There's nothing you're going to do to stop it. Okay, I don't want to put it like that, but you aren't going to stop it. We aren't going to stop it. What we need is to develop a sense of connection with the government. This would be like the powers that be are saying, we're taking away gas-powered vehicles and oil and all fossil fuels, and we're going to replace everything with electric-powered vehicles. And we're going to recommend everyone to take the electric-powered bus or subway system or whatever, rather than buying an electric vehicle yourself. So the whole point of what they're doing with this electric thing, how I interpret it, is by 2035, all vehicles have to be off the road if they're gas-powered. And they want everyone on the bus system. Now, here's my thought process. We aren't going to be here in 10 years, let alone 15. We're not going to be here. We don't have that long. I don't want to disappoint you, and I don't want to be the crazy guy that thinks we're all going to die. But that's the plan. Watch my videos, Depopulation Part 1, Part 2. Years ago I made, or at least a year or two ago, I made those videos, right? They're going to depopulate the planet, and there's no one going to be left to be driving any vehicles anyways. So I would be more concerned about survival than worried about climate change or electric vehicles or solar powered or solar winds or whatever. What solar winds? What the fuck am I talking about? Worry more about survivability than the vehicle thing, because the whole point is that we're not going to be here anyways. When Bill Gates says there's population that needs to go down to zero to stop climate change, to stop carbon emissions, he wasn't lying. That is the only way to get zero carbon emissions. I don't know if you know this. You breathe out carbon dioxide. So you being alive is creating carbon emissions and climate change. Oh my God. The only way to get down to zero carbon emissions, which they say they want, is to kill you. That's the only way, guys. That is the only way. So what they're preparing for is a world of a few leftover slaves that they're going to be riding the bus. There's going to be no more alpha males to use a sign and say, fight for our rights, and have a gun and marching towards the fucking Washington, D.C. Capitol building, whatever, right? That isn't going to exist in 15 years anyways, because you're not going to be here. And the remainder are going to be chipped and with passports and identifications and no privileges, and they don't own anything. That's what they want. But they can't get to that point if there's 8 billion people on the planet. It doesn't work. The only way by 2035, all gas-powered vehicles would be off the road and all this other bullshit, is to murder about 80% of the population or more. Because it is physically, mentally impossible to get us all into electric powered vehicles that all cram into the same bus to get to work every day and to stop here and stop there and then stop there and then stop there. It is physically impossible. They're going to have to cut down the population to damn near zero in order for this to work. So think of it more along those lines. You need to survive. And if they're trying to murder you, I wouldn't be concerned about what rights or privileges you have. I'd be more concerned about survival. It's sad, man. I'm going to miss my Toyota. Yeah, I got basically a truck I'm going to turn into a farm vehicle. Just a pickup truck. It's going to be my farm vehicle to the end of time. And I don't give a damn if Biden says there's a law saying everyone's going to go to prison if you have a gas-powered vehicle that's running. You're going to go to prison for the rest of your life, or we're just going to murder you on the spot. I don't give a fuck. You know why? Because I'm a real fucking man, and I don't give a fucking damn what somebody says I can or cannot do. I was growing cannabis way before it was legal. It's legal now, and I've been a caregiver for 2.5 years, so I'm growing legally. But the point is, before I was growing legally, 10, 15 years ago, I was growing illegally, right? I do everything illegally. I have illegal a lot of things. I do illegal things every day. People have like 5 felonies a day without even knowing that they just had a felony, that they just did something illegal. I don't care. I don't care what's legal and what's not legal. What I care about is what's right, what's moral, what's righteous, etc. That's all I care about. I don't know what's going on with this chat. How do I keep the chat up? Why can't I just keep it up? I also use my old vehicles as yeah, exactly. I'm going to have my Silverado as just a farm vehicle. Transport things. If I need something, go down the street. Right now my farm is mostly out into the country area. My apartment's about 2 miles from the city, but my farm's out in the country. Meaning, there's cows around. So if I have chickens and they don't have chickens and they have cows, I can trade. Aren't you sick of eating beef? Yeah, your beef is so great, organic, etc. Maybe even marbled meats. But you haven't had chicken in how long? I got chicken. I'll give you 2 5-pound birds for 10 pounds of steak. He'd probably do it because he wants chicken eventually, right? So it's one of those things, if you have value, you're going to be okay at the end of times. You're going to be okay when Klaus Schwab takes away your vehicle. You're going to be okay when Bill Gates shuts off your chip. Well, that you're not going to be okay with. But point is, what you know, your value, that's what you need in the end times, rather than the obvious. Everyone's going to be in a barter system. Not everyone's going to be. Everyone's going to have family members that aren't going to take the vax. So everyone's going to have some type of sympathy, at least, if not empathy, towards you. Some people are. The media is going to portray it the other way, and that's fine. But the point is, there's going to be someone with some form of sympathy towards you. And because they have sympathy towards you, they aren't going to just let you die. You didn't get the vaccine. We can't barter and trade. How about this? There's going to be people with vaccines that are going to need services, and you can probably do them cheaper than the fucktards. You know, if you understood mechanics of vehicles, you can go over and help your neighbor without a vaccine, without being on the books, and you can help them with that vehicle, right? And then they can give you food or resources or their daughter's hand in marriage or whatever it is, right? Like, I think that's what people need. We need to communicate. We need to pretend or at least strive to achieve unity. We need to pretend like we're all in this together, right? Like, you help me, I'm going to help you. No one gets damaged, hurt, and we're all going to be successful. See, if I give you tomatoes and then you give me cucumbers, guess what? I still have tomatoes, but now I have cucumbers too. That person only had cucumbers, but now because of me and my value, they have cucumbers and tomatoes. See, when we're together, we have everything we need. But when we're apart and we're fighting amongst each other and we're on the books, where are you going to go? What are you going to achieve by getting your vaccine passport, playing ball with these fucking morons? See, they are hoping you're dumb enough to play ball. Because once you get that vaccine, there's no going back. It's not like you can, put a siphon to your skin and go and suck up all that fucking vaccine out of you, even though there's no viruses. Once you take it, you're done. And they know that. So once they can bully you into it, there's no return. There's no return. That's it now. Just like if you have HIV, the only thing you can do is help your immune system at that point, right? There's nothing else you can do. They got you. They got you. And everyone knows, or at least a lot of people know, like in Hollywood, if you play ball, like if you're an actor or a sports player or whatever, a politician, if you play ball, they still will blackmail you. They will still try to get a man in bed with another man and take a photo. They still will inject you with HIV or at least threaten you with that in Hollywood. The reason why HIV was so effective is because everyone knew how bad it was. Now, 80% of the population has HIV. Or a form of it which depreciates the power of the immune system. If your immune system sees a germ that it saw last year, but now doesn't know how to fight it off, that germ is going to run rapid and kill you because your immune system doesn't know what the fuck to do. What do you think messenger RNA is? What do you think the message is? To shut down your immune system. That's the message. Your RNA is how you read your genetics, your DNA. And if they make sure your immune system can't read a virus or bacteria, it's just going to let that bacteria do whatever it wants. It's effectively HIV. That's why they shut down my channel That's why they gave me all these, what do they call it? Fact checkers on Facebook saying that it's not HIV. What are you talking about? You're wrong. No, it's not HIV, but it does the exact same thing. It shuts down your immune system. And then you'll die by damn near anything. And that's what they want. They want you so dumb, docile, weak, convinced that everything's okay as long as you take that vax. And then what happens? When you're inside your house for 2 years. No sunshine, no fresh air, no hugging grandma. How do you think, after years of terrible diet, because you're buying food at the supermarket, nothing is actually organic, nothing actually has nutrients in it, nothing actually is going to provide you energy and sustainability. No, you eat that hamburger that said organic at the, you name it, Aldi or Publix or Wegmans or Walmart or Target. See, your supermarket says organic food, but then you eat it and you feel like, You know why you're feeling that? Because that food isn't food. There's a shelf life. There's pink slime. There's antibiotics. There's the food they're feeding the cattle, let alone, genetically modified grain. Cows aren't supposed to eat grain. Period. Cows have never, ever, ever eaten grain. Ever. Until the last, 60 years? Never. You know what grass. You know what cows eat? Grass. Grass, hay. So it's in the grass family, like corn, but they're feeding them the grain from the corn instead of the leaves, instead of the grassy stuff, instead of the maize. And because you're feeding them the kernels and the corn, why do we poop it out as humans? Because it's not sustainable. It's no energy, no nutrients. It's not good for our bodies. Our body rejects it. Same thing with those cows. So then the cows have no nutrients. They claim this organic bullshit. Then you bring it home, you eat it, and it tastes like shit. It's more red than the real color it should be. Purpley brown. Have you ever seen real meat before? It ain't that pinky red shit. How do you claim that to be organic? That's not real. It's not real. And then we're devouring and pretending. We're all pretending this is healthy. If you took care of your own food and you bartered with your friends, your family, your neighbors, your community, you'd be way more healthy. Depending on how you feed your cattle will be that same nutrition going down to you. Yeah, well, meat's good. Meat's really good. I used to be vegan, but meat is really good for us. It's very, very densely nutritious, but the meat you're getting at the supermarket isn't. It isn't. Have you ever had venison? Venison is dark. It's not this pinky red shit. You kill the deer, right? You get the venison. You can store it for however long you want, freezers and stuff. And then you have tons of meat that is densely packed with nutrition. Now, it's not because venison's better than cow meat, right? It's not. They both provide steaks. But what they're doing to your supermarket meat is they're adding pink slime. They're adding antibiotics. They're feeding them genetically modified grain. They're pumping it full of viruses. Viruses. You eat that cow. How can you claim it to be organic? It's not eating organic. You got to find the pyramid. It starts with the compost. The compost, the microorganisms, the worms, the fungi. If that is there, let's start calling it organic. If that isn't the head of the food chain or the primary piece of the animal or plant or wherever you're getting the food from, if that wasn't the head of the fucking thing, it's not organic, guys. It's not. And it's not nutritious. It's not food. So I'm going to encourage you guys right now, please, at some point, consider taking care of your own food, being responsible for it. Have your own chicken coop. I mean, it's very simple to have 3 hens, right? 3 hens, you don't need a rooster. They'll lay an egg almost once a day, if not once a day. So you'll have 3 eggs a day. You will live on 3 eggs a day. 3 hens. And you can feed it anything you want. Things you find on the ground, meats, bugs, whatever. They generally feed themselves if you want them free range, right? Where you don't even have to feed them. So the point is I'm getting at is that if you took care of it, or at least consider taking care of it, your food problem, these vaccine scares and vaccine passports and this new world of uncertainty, you can be a little certain you're going to survive. That's what I want to tell you today. There's a way to survive. Any more questions for me today? I think I'm going to be doing this for a while because since I turned this on, I think I only did this. I only did this one little offshoot. An hour and a half for me to do this little bit. Anyways, it is fun hanging out with you guys. All right. Let's read what you guys are saying. Yeah, that's what I'm... Supermarket meat is a lot different than small farm organic meat. Way different. It's night and day. Tell a crazy story from your truck driving days. Most drivers have some. Yeah, I have tons. You want to hear the one about the guy trying to commit suicide? Tried to run in front of my truck, kill himself? You want to hear a story of how I almost got by a homeless guy? Let me think of a good one. I think those are two good ones right there. Yeah, let's tell you one of those. So there was this time I was in I-40, I think I don't want to say Ash, I don't know, somewhere in North Carolina. There's this guy on the side of the road, and he's pulled over. I see his car. He's on the side of the road. So there's an off ramp, and then there's an on ramp, right? On the on ramp to get on I-40, there's a guy on the side of the road, young black guy, maybe 28 to 30, something like that, right? Young black guy. And you can tell, I'm looking at him, and I think I was making a video at the time, and I had to stop because what happened. And I'm going down I-40, I'm going like 65 miles an hour, and I'm looking over, I'm like, damn, that guy has a bad day in my head, just thinking it. Then I see that he sees me, and he decides to run to I-40 from the off-ramp where his car was, which was clearly not working or he had problems. Guy runs to the middle of the fucking road, puts his arms out like this to die. Right in front of my vehicle that I'm 80,000 pounds. And he wanted to die. An inch was max of what I missed him by. I missed him by the slightest fucking turn. An inch. Nothing has scared me ever that much before, where I almost murdered someone because they wanted to be murdered. This guy was having such a bad day. His car's not working. I can just imagine, the other shit. His wife cheating on him. His son just died. A million things could have happened. But this guy was like, fuck this shit. That dude driving this truck right now is going to kill me. Now. He runs out in the middle of the road, puts his arms out. I barely fucking miss him. I didn't look into my mirrors at all about who was on my left, but I had to miss this guy. And I remember looking at my right mirror, my passenger mirror, and I remember looking, and I see this guy, and he's still like this, but obviously you see him like this, right? And the motherfucker puts down his head and shakes his head and walks back to his vehicle. Woo! That fucking, to this day, gives me goosebumps. That this guy was like choosing me to kill him. I think that's like a once in like 5 lifetimes experience. That somebody's going to try to murder them because they think you have no time to move out of the way. Well, man, you are both lucky. Yeah, I would have lost my job. I'd probably be in prison right now over this guy trying to murder himself for me. And like I said, if there was a vehicle to my left, I would have hit that vehicle, right? And if I hit that vehicle, I'm still going to hit the guy. Now we're all in a fucking disaster, right? But yeah, that split second, oh my God, this guy is running out in the middle of the road and me, no time to look next to me. It could have been way, way worse than it was. Like, way worse. That's one story. I got tons of them. What we got here? Thank you for joining me, guys, because, like I said, I was bored. Yeah. So OTR in Europe, as I understand, is all of Europe. You're going to need to be able to go through every country, from Sweden to Switzerland to everything, right? Denmark. You're supposed to be going everywhere in Europe. So because of that, I think you'd see a lot of cool things. I would say, yes, it's worth it. But just remember, in about a year or so, vaccine passports for everyone. Are you going to get a vaccine in order to keep your driving job? So I suggest if you're going to drive now before you can't. So just things to consider. Trucking's very lucrative over the road, where I don't think it's for family men though. So if you really, really, really trust your wife and kids and such, do it. If not, I don't suggest it. I do not suggest it. Not for a family man. I do not suggest trucking for a family man. But again, depending on your situation, even if you do it for a year, you get 100K or something, and get the fuck out. You made some money and good experience. You got to travel through some countries, and sounds like fun, right? And getting paid to do it. But it is a tough lifestyle. Can you also talk about ways of generating income independently? Yeah. So, nothing but a cape and a hat? Okay. All right. We might consider something like that. What was the last one? Sorry. Can you also talk about ways of generating income independently? Now, tons of workplaces are requiring the vaccination bullshit. Yeah. So, yeah. So I put an ad on Craigslist today. So as you can see, I trim. I put an ad on Craigslist saying that I will trim your cannabis because it's legal in my state, up to a pound. Now it's up to 5 pounds I can legally do, but up to a pound. I charge $20 an hour. And, if you have a skill, obviously not truly $20 an hour, because the last hour I didn't do shit. But the point is I'm getting at is that, yeah, I put an ad on Craigslist for $20 an hour, trim job. No one likes trimming. It's tedious. And if I'm just going to be here anyways doing my own trimming, might as well trim others too, right? So there's things you can do based on services that you can do tax-free, and, it could be lucrative. You might have a skill where you're a plumber or electrician, it doesn't really matter, where you can, instead of calling the local electrician that's going to charge you $50 an hour labor and bullshit you on a million different things, why don't you be the person, right? So you say $20 an hour, I will clean your gutters, $20 an hour, or I will go over to your place and quote you for this or that and third. I think that's what it's going to be. We need handymen or women. We need people that aren't lazy like this fucking new generation Z or X or whatever the fuck they are, that are extremely lazy. They don't want to do anything. And if anything's mildly discomforting, it's like, oh, I don't want a roof in July. It's like, then who's going to do it? You do it. Someone's going to have to do it. Make some money. There's always something. But yeah, like my Craigslist ad, I also do grow advice because 99% of new growers fail. You know, when I first grew, I failed. My first 3 times I grew, I failed. And it wasn't until 2013, 8 years ago, when I started not failing, when I got the full yield of what I'm supposed to get, you know? Which, you know, there's tons of things that you're good at, that you know you're good at, or that you can figure out and get good at, where you can find a niche for yourself. Maybe you like drawing. Maybe you like tattooing. I don't know what it is that you like, but find something you're passionate about or you like, or you can at least stand doing tedious workouts. Because if you can do that, I think this world's your oyster. I think you can charge whatever you want. I think that, for example, I sell eggs. I have my farm. I sell eggs. I sell tomatoes and cucumbers, etc. My eggs are so good. Good. If you go to the supermarket where I am, a dozen eggs at Wegmans cost $6 a dozen. $6 a dozen. My eggs I sell for $5 a dozen, or $4. $4 if you have the carton. $4 a dozen for way higher quality than Wegmans. Organic bullshit. I feed my chickens blueberries and strawberries and real mealworms and real shit and greens, and they get their grit and they're loved and they're not attacked and they're not stuck in cages. They love their lives. My eggs are such a good product that people beg me for them. Beg me. I only have 3 main customers that get eggs every single week from me. And therefore, I give them the eggs before anyone else because they've been with me for so long, right? But I have people that I just give an egg or two to, and they're like, oh my God, dude, do you know what you have here? This is a gold mine. There's never been an egg that ever tasted this good before, or had this amount of omega-3s and nutrients and flavor. And you know these hens are treated well. You know where it comes from. It's from an organic farm source. You have a gold mine here, dude. Just stick with this. So that's one of my avenues of making money. Obviously, I have tons of ways I make money. I'm a caregiver. I'm also a medical caregiver. I'm also I trim cannabis. I have cannabis things I do. I have my own farm. And on top of that, I do side jobs. I do side jobs at least a few a week. So I'm constantly doing things that are unorthodox in order to not only make money, but to get the clientele and to make the world a better place with me in it. Because I have the value to bring to others, right? YouTube and things like that, I don't make money on. I do want to make a complete grow diary. Almost like a lessoning thing. What would you call it? Shit. What's it called? I want to make something that helps new growers. Not just cannabis, but all growers. Because, first off, 99% of all first-time cannabis growers will fail. They suck at growing. They just kill their plant. So why don't I go to their house, show them how to grow easily, where they can digest it, and to, make money doing it. So I make them money by saving them hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, getting good at something that would take them 5+ years on average to get their grow dial in. We can do it in the first year and save them thousands of dollars and getting great quality right from the get-go. Like things like that is how I think. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's a course. I want to create my own online course. You figured it out for me. Do the next live show. Okay. I give them watermelon sometimes. Yeah, I give them watermelon too. They also make good eggs. Watermelon does? Yeah, I give I give them cucumbers to everything. Watermelon to tomatoes. They love my tomatoes. I have thousands of tomatoes. Thousands. Of course, I'm giving them some of my tomatoes. They love it. They fucking love tomatoes. But I give them everything. They don't like cannabis. I've tried giving them cannabis plenty of times. They don't care for it. But yeah, I'd like to set up an online course of how to grow easily because I don't know if you guys know this, but most people on the internet suck at growing weed too. They try to give you advice and then you take their advice and grow shit fucking dead weed anyways, right? You're like decarbing your weed instead of growing it. They blast it with too much light. They overwater it. People suck at growing it. It's understandable. They don't teach it in school. Someone's got to teach you how to grow, or else how are you going to survive when shit hits the fan? How do you not know how to put a seed in the ground and grow it? You should. You should learn that by 3 years old. You should. But no one knows how to grow food. No one knows how to raise pigs. No one knows fucking things you should have known by the age of 3 because you don't have an alpha male in your life. You don't have a father figure. I like chicken sounds. Yeah, I got 6 chicks downstairs right now at my apartment. I was thinking about going to show you my chicks. Then I was like, nah. But yeah, chickens, I love chickens. They make all these cool little sounds. You can tell when they're like alert and you can tell when they're excited. You can tell. So I have little chicks and I can tell just by turning on a light that they all of a sudden, they're all perked up and they start making cute noises and stuff. But yeah, I love chickens. I'm definitely a chicken guy. I fucking love chickens. They're really cool. They all have personalities. They hang out with you. Yeah. Any more questions? Where were we here? Don't be shy. You can ask anything. I don't care. I'm just happy to be with people hanging out with me. In fact, so I'm going to try some wet weed right now. Just to try it. Yeah, away from the cities. If you're away from the city in Florida, you're much better off. But when it really boils down to it, depends on what you like. Do you like the ocean? closer to the ocean. I prefer the Gulf side, but I never lived on the Gulf side, so I can't truly, you know, tell you that because I never actually lived on the Gulf side. Because I lived on the ocean side. So I would suggest, anywhere away from the major cities. Tampa's okay though, but if you go south of Tampa, oh my God, it's beautiful. Did you ever get an official warning from YouTube? Yeah, of course. Yeah, YouTube gives me lots of warnings, official warnings, warnings and strikes. I've got strikes too. Yeah, they're shutting down everyone. Go to Odyssey, Odyssey. I think that's how you spell it. Go to Odyssey. Those guys like the Corbett Report, Dollar Vigilante, really, really good content people that aren't going to lie to you, or at least have good intentions. They're over there in Odyssey. I'm on Odyssey, so whatever on YouTube, I get like my video, speak even if your voice shakes. They took down that video on YouTube. They took down why you should not wear a mask on YouTube. Well, guess what? You go to Odyssey, that shit's still up. Guess why? Because YouTube's, the big tech oligarchs, don't like us. They want us gone. Probably think I'm crazy smoking wet weed right now. My opinion, my true humble opinion, you're a year late. Shit already hit the fan. It's happening. March 2020. That's when the patent for 666 came out. Just so happens to be the time when they knew they could shut down the world. Coincidence? I think not. I think shit already hit the fan. I think right now is the time of peace that the Bible talks about. I think right now is the time of peace, but I think it started last year. And I think we have about 3 more years of peace, and then everyone's going to die. But who cares what I think? You know, like, whatever. It is the quiet before the storm. That's how they get you. They get you to forget shit already hit the fan. Oh, shit hit the fan? Nah, because I'm still going to work every day. But you need a passport now to go to work and to get food. See, shit hitting the fan, everyone... Actually, let's refrain from that. Think of the word apocalypse. Apocalypse. When we think the word apocalypse, we think destruction and maybe volcanoes going off and never stopping and you know, the sun being blocked out and uprising and anarchy, you know. And that's another buzzword, anarchy. When we think of anarchy, we think no control and the government is blah, blah, blah. We think all this shit for the word apocalypse. But apocalypse literally translates to like a revelation, to a change. It doesn't mean that the world's going to burn. Same thing with shit hitting the fan. Shit hit the fan last year, and they're running with it. It might seem peaceful, just like an apocalypse should seem like it's a disaster, but it's actually very peaceful. Every time that the word apocalypse was ever used up until like 300 years ago or something, at least up until 300 years ago, that word That word basically meant a change, a revelation in a change. That means like before the United States, right? Before 1776, there was an apocalypse in this country that changed. People started having a government and a ruler and had to change their lifestyle. And they had to start putting the natives in their own camps, pretty much. Reservations to keep them safe from us. Anyways, I don't really know where I was going with that because even wet weed can get me high. I think sooner, hopefully 3 years tops. Yeah. My parents went through communism and it wasn't good. People fought it with all they had. Some even died. Now their kids want it back. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy that I live in the United States? So in my country, we were taught commies were the bad guys our whole last 100 years. Last 100 years. Commies are the bad guys, right? And we're fighting the Soviets and the commies, and those were the bad guys because they were totalitarian dictatorship type governments that really, really hurt their people, not just economically, but even murdered them. So we knew they were the bad guys, but nowadays it's taught in our public schools. Socialism and communism are good. It's equality. How is that equality? When one group can do whatever the fuck they want, have private jets, blah, blah, blah. The ruling class can do whatever the fuck they want. But 95% or even more of the population, 99% of the population, can't. And they got to line up in food lines, and there's not enough food to go around because no one wants to work because no one makes any more money if they do any more work because it's socialism and everything's equal. Wait, that's not equal. What's equal is actually capitalism where we all have the same opportunities. See, if you don't have the same opportunities, you can't be equal, no matter how you slice it. Because if I have the same opportunity right now to make $50 an hour to trim, let's say, right? If I had that opportunity, so does somebody else. That's called equality. But they want us all confused on what equality is. And they want to say communism's good now because we're all going to have no one superior than the other, except for the ruling class, which makes no sense to me. You know, like, how can the CEO of Walmart, let's say that person worked 70 hours a week at Walmart, how should that person make the same amount of money as the new hire that's 15 years old at the cash register, who fucks up on a daily basis and only works 20 hours a week? How should they make the same amount of money? How can anyone say that's equal? And just convincing that to people dumbs them down. We're dumbing down through the education projects. Ah, shit. I don't know what you didn't get, but I had to reconnect. But the new generation is dumber, and their ability to think for themselves has decreased. Now, the rhetoric from the schools, from the media, from the news sources, that rhetoric now becomes the forefront. And because it's the forefront, they can't think for themselves. They can't say, this great country we live in, I got to make the most out of this. Instead of thinking, this is equal and this is right and freedom and no one hurts anyone else. People are convinced there's a lot of evils going around. There are people killing other people because of hate. And no one's equal because some people live in projects while some people live in mansions. There isn't equality just by this. But you do have the same equality. You know how you do? Very simple. You don't have to live in those projects. You are choosing to. Despite what you were born with. despite how much money your parents made. You had the equal opportunity to get the fuck out of there, to get a decent job, to make as much money as you want, right? There's no max amount of money you can make in capitalism, in the free market. There's no cap. So it's limitless, your opportunities. Socialism is capped, right? You can't make more than $25 an hour, even if you are a rocket scientist. $25 an hour, same thing with the fucking cashier who has no idea where the fuck they are. They're high at work all day, not a good worker, fucking up at the cash register, same amount of money. That's not equal. But what I told you was equal with capitalism and free market, where you all have the opportunity, and the sky is not even the limit, because there is no limit. I don't know what I was babbling about. Again, I think I'm a little high. My peers are all screaming for more and more laws and restrictions. It's sad because they don't get it. They need help. They need Superman. Christians believe that they need Jesus to come back to save them, even though the Bible does not say he's coming back to save us. He's coming back with the sounds of trumpets to cast all the evils into the lake of fire. Yeah, and to take some and leave some because he's going to be here for 1,000 years. Right? Everyone wants a superhero to save them. So they convince themselves Donald Trump's going to save me, or Jesus is going to save me, or there's no one here to save you guys. There isn't. You can pretend, I can even pretend I'm here to save you guys. I'm not really here to save you guys. I don't even know your name, your first name. I don't know it. How am I here to save you? How is Donald Trump going to save you? He's not going to your funeral when you die. He doesn't know you. How do you expect these people to save you? The truth is, you need to step up to the plate. Male, female, doesn't matter what religion you believe in, what country you grew up in. As you are, you can increase your value to the world and you can help others. And I believe that is what we need. We need people to step up to the plate, surrender to reason and evidence rather than feelings, and to operate outside of the victim mentality and get into the responsible mentality. I'm responsible. See, I'm the type of person, if I'm having an argument with someone, I'll say I'm sorry, even if I'm not wrong, because I'm not responsible for the other person. I'm responsible for me. If the other person yells at me, calls me names, how I respond to that is my responsibility. It's not theirs. I'm not responsible for what you say or how you interpret my words. I'm not responsible for that. What I'm responsible for is what I say and do. That's all I'm responsible for, right? How you interpret those things, how you react to those things, how you respond is all up to you. It's not up to me, right? And the reason I'm bringing that up is because no one's going to understand us if everyone's quick to silence a conversation. Hey, let's talk about these vaccines. Oh, no, and then they're pissed. And they don't want to talk to you. They raise their voice. They name call. We can't do anything with that person. Hence, I'm not here to save you. I'm only here to shed light. And if you're ready to save yourself, key here, responsibility, when you're ready to save yourself, that's when the words will take shape, will take meaning, will take purpose. And you can align yourself to those responsibilities or not. And I believe alphas are needed more than ever. Once upon a time, we had 50% of the population was alpha. Now, what, not even 5%? Less than about 10 times more alphas were here 50 years ago than today. 10 times more alphas. That's fucked up. They're trying to remove us, trying to tell us they are saving us, but they're not saving us. And we got to stop pretending they are. They're criminals. They're evil. We need to read history books. We need to understand reality, and we need to be responsible. We need to hold these assholes accountable for their actions. Period. Because no one else is. When Hillary killed 3 in Benghazi, when these elitists, when Bill Gates killed millions of people, millions, let alone just India, what was it, like 1 million people in India, kids, children, 10 years ago. Guys, remember? Was he held accountable for it? No, because there's no more alphas. There's no more. You're afraid to speak because you'll be in a ditch somewhere. You're afraid to speak. Speak. That's what we need. We need enlightenment. We need meaning. We need purpose. We need accountability. And we can't do this if you're going to sit on the couch and pretend nothing's going on. And someone's going to save the day because someone's got it, right? I mean, we were bred to believe there's a superhero, right? Whether that is a religious superhero or a movie character or whatever, we've been brainwashed to believe the government's going to save us. But when we read a history book, no government has ever saved us. Ever, 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 never, never, ever, ever, ever happened. It's never happened, guys. Government has never helped us ever. Ever. Try to think. Oh, well, our government, no. If you're just going to talk about the military is not the government. The military is under our government and ruled by our government. But if the government wasn't there, we'd still have military. I know that sounds crazy to you guys. When we're looking at the government as helping us, the problem we see is that they are not helping us. They are preventing us interacting like one-on-one with the military or one-on-one with any service, whether that's welfare or whatever. But when they steal our money, say, you guys have nothing to do with this, we will direct the military. What's that military going to do for you? Orchestrate more wars for them on the account of your life? They don't give a damn about you. They never did. And if you read a history book, every single ruler has tried to murder its population. One way or the other, whether they're sending their kids to die in wars for them, or if they are rounding them up by the thousands or millions to murder them all. That's the purpose of government. That's why they are so evil. That's why they have child slaves and sex slaves. They are not good people. When Hunter Biden smokes crack, takes photos of him or videos of himself smoking crack and having sex with teenage girls, maybe they're not good people. Maybe we should stop pretending they are. All of them. All right, I'm sure I'm way far behind on. Ooh, I'm way far behind. Hold on. I don't have a problem with paying taxes and the state helping the poor with that money, but don't tell me what I can and can't drive. Exactly. Well, I'm against taxes. So. You can't drink a glass of water nowadays without the state telling you how to do it. Yep. For your safety, you might choke on it. How many people you know grow weed so good you can just pluck it off and you can get stoned from it? I got some good weed. So I didn't expect to go this long, but I might as well keep it going then, at least until I have no more sunlight. Any more questions, guys? You guys have been awesome to me today. No what? Wow, I'm actually really kind of high. I added some resin leaves on it. So I don't know what you can see there. You see all that stuff? You throw that on top of whatever you're smoking. Woo! It'll increase whatever you're doing. Weed is legal in your area, you said? Weed is still illegal. Okay. Yeah. So in New York, up until this year, it was illegal. It was illegal to cultivate. It was illegal to have in your possession. Even paraphernalia was illegal. That would be even a glass pipe. If it had resin in it, or it was clearly used. But weed in New York was literally a slap on the wrist. I've literally gotten so many what we call UPM charges, unlawful possession of marijuana. I had so many of those, like literally I just stopped going to court for. Like I just gave up. No one gives a fuck. No one gives you even community service. No one cares. It's weed. It grows everywhere. It grows in South America to India to you name it. I think it even began in like China or something. Point is, it's everywhere. It's fucking weed. Who really thinks that you're gonna go shoot up a school from smoking pot? No one thinks that. So what are we doing? What are we doing? Are you hurting yourself? I mean, it's safer than cigarettes, right? You're not going to hurt anyone because it's like it turns you into the most peaceful, happy person. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't even get how there could be any Republican pretending something bad about it. Waste of tax money? Yeah, it definitely is a waste of tax money. But I don't look at things like that. I look at it as they stole that money. They can do whatever the fuck they want with it. It's not up to me, how they use my money. What's your take? I don't know why the fuck I can't keep the chat up. I want to know how I can just keep it up. What is this? Okay. What's your take on going to massive concerts? My take on like being in crowds. Well, I believe vaccine shedding is a real thing because there's a lot of evidence towards it. Viral vaccines. This new vaccine that we have isn't actually a vaccine at all. It's actually something that triggers your body to produce antibodies, right? So it looks for a shape. It's like messenger RNA. So it tells your immune system, when you see this shape, you act like this. And when you're doing that to your body, right? Like, so let's say I took the the mRNA, and when I took it, I'm creating antibodies. I become a factory for antibodies. It actually comes through, just like where your blood comes from, it comes from your bones, right? So your bones create blood. I don't know if you guys know that. That's the same place that it creates antibodies. So your antibodies are going into your bloodstream, and it just creates more and more and more antibodies. And because you're not actually killing anything with those antibodies, it keeps producing it because it doesn't think its job's done. So anyways, long story short, it becomes an antibody factory. It actually clogs the arteries because there's so much antibodies, your blood can't even flow properly. So when I'm in, let's say, a concert, a realm of a concert or something, where there's a lot of people, and my antibodies are just running and running, and of course I'm going to shed those antibodies. Those antibodies are then going to be put into other people, right? And if those people are vaccinated already, there's a good chance that it's going to cancel each other out. It's just like what they already had in their body, right? There's a good chance. I'm not sure if that's how it works, but there's a good chance that can do that. Um, but now, if somebody's unvaxxed and I give it to them, now they have an antibody for something that's in their body that they have to get rid of. So they have to start producing antibodies for the antibody. So then that unvaxxed person will get sick. And that person can get so sick that, I mean, there's no virus, but there's an antibody that you're trying to get rid of that you have in your body that your body is going to have to figure it out, right? So you're unvaxxed. Your body will figure it out, hence you getting sick. The whole reason you get sick is it's your body telling you we're fighting something off. The reason why the vax people don't get sick is because they trick their body into saying everything's okay, we're not sick. Anyways, so the unvaxxed person will get their antibodies going and actually defeat that antibody, which is fine, but you will get sick in the process. Then you will gain immunity to that. So it doesn't matter if you're around vaxxed people anymore after that. So this would be 2 to 4 weeks or so. The unvaxxed person will grant immunity to those antibodies. But the person who is vaxxed, when they finally stop, which is usually months later, even unvaxxed could be months later, like symptoms and stuff. But that's with viruses, not antibodies. If they actually get the coronavirus, all right, so you get the coronavirus vaccinated, and then you can give that to the unvaxxed, right? But the vaxxed person won't show any symptoms because they're going to be like docile and not docile, that's the wrong word. They're going to be lethargic. They're going to be weak, right? And they're going to be weak. And they're not going to show symptoms of fever or anything like that. Your body's not going to react the way it should. In fact, if your body's going through a fever, that's a good sign. That means that your body knows what it's doing. It's trying to fight things off. Bacteria generally would die around the 105 degree mark or whatever, right? So your body will raise temperature to kill off whatever infection, whatever thing it is. So when you're actually going through the symptoms, your body is actually fighting it off. That means your body's working. So if I was vaxxed and I gave it to an unvaxxed, the virus now we're talking about. Gosh, I got sick the other day, exactly 12 hours after I met in person with my students who I teach out. You met in person your students? It's probably because your body doesn't have practice, right? Like with those individuals. I'm a firm believer, like George Carlin once said, they swam in the Hudson River. And if you know anything about the Hudson River, it is a gross sewage dump, right? Like the fish are mutated, even if they survive. It's just disgusting, right? And the reason why they would swim in there, and it's not the reason why, but they would swim in there because they would just do it. Because that was normal. It's like a kid playing in the mud. It's like, do it. That seems fun. You get all this bacteria and germs all over you. Helps your body practice. Practice its immune system. Practice killing germs. I mean, how I look at anatomy is you can use it or you can lose it, right? You're either doing stuff, squats, and you're active, or you're not. And then you're not going to be as active or able to do those same things. See, when you're around somebody often, like people often, like in crowds often, you're not going to get as deadly sick as somebody that isn't around those people and then all of a sudden become in contact with those people. Because if your body's constantly fighting off things, like, let me give you an example, allergies. My dad, I gave my cat one day, this was a number of years ago, maybe 2015 or something. I gave him my cat because I was going into truck driving. Yeah, that's it. I was going into truck driving. My dad is claimed his whole life he's deadly allergic to fucking cats, and he would always like break out in hives and all types of shit because he was never brought up around animals. So when he was around those those cats or whatever, he'd get allergic reaction, he can't breathe, breaks out in hives, etc., right? Well, He had my cat 2 weeks. And after those 2 weeks, the hives disappeared. He started being able to breathe. And then 6 years later, still has that cat. Never had a problem since. It's just your body needs to practice. That's why I'm so against the mask. That's why I'm so against many things that they're suggesting you do now, instead of improving your immune system and your health. I'm going to tell you guys another quick secret about viruses. When a virus infects a cell, that cell becomes a zombie cell. You know what we call that in the medical field? Cancer. You know where cancer comes from? Viruses or anything that can infect that cell and turn it into a zombie cell. It becomes cancer. What has every vaccine been up until this new one? They've been giving you cancer. They've been giving you cancer this whole time. And how does that cancer spread? How does the viruses spread? Just like any parasite, the virus is a parasite. It infects the cell and it lives in that cell until it can reproduce and replicate. Same thing with cancer. It's the same thing. What do they need? Sugars. They need sugars. See, why do they need sugars? Because when you eat sugars and consume sugar, it depreciates your immune system. And when your immune system's compromised, those viruses come out of the cell, turning that cancer cell into multiple cancer cells. And now they're all replicating. And your body can't fight it off because it doesn't even know what it is. It doesn't get it. It's so weakened by the sugar. It just doesn't do it every day. It's only when your immune system is compromised will that virus spread or that cancer. It's only when you're compromised. So when you're taking chemo, that's what they're doing. They're stopping the production or your immune system's ability to see and fight off anything. That's what they're doing, guys. They're trying to make sure, and everything in your supermarket, your Gatorades, everything has sugar in it. Everything. And it's not a good source of sugar. These are cane sugars and all different types of like refurbished sugar, where they're taking out the organic fibers and they're leaving you with a chemical substance that is terrible for your cells. It's not even good for bacteria, these kinds of sugars. I mean, yeah, they can mutate and replicate and learn after a few hundred generations or so to adapt to it and thrive, but humans, we live on a cellular basis. We're a multicellular organism. We can't just be acidic and compromising our immune system. We have to fight off everything we come in contact with. Everything we come in contact with, we have to fight off. And what's in our body as a parasite tells us what to eat. Bad bacteria in your gut, same thing with the viruses, will tell you, eat sugar, crave sugars. It will tell you, get a cake, a pie, ice cream, whatever sugary, that sugary soda drink. It is telling you, the parasite is telling you what you should be eating. That's deep, bro. That's deep. When you have bad bacteria in you, it wants to kill the good bacteria and have a monopoly on your gut biome. When you have sugars, it kills the good bacteria and lets the bad bacteria thrive. It also is replicating those cancers all throughout the body. Because you know as well as I do, those sugars go into your bloodstream. Your bloodstream connects all your organs. You're spreading that cancer everywhere. Everywhere. And those viruses get free rides with it because your immune system ain't going to fight it off. And all those sugars are like sandpaper to your arteries, and you're just killing yourself. Stop buying shit at the supermarket. Stop letting bad bacteria and viruses control your mind. I will make a full video on that because think about this. When a wasp, a parasite, when a wasp bites the head of a tarantula, 30,000, not 30,000, but 30 times its size, right? Like a pound fucking big tarantula, big one. And a wasp bites its head and starts moving it around, controlling its brain. When a parasite controls its host, it teaches it and programs its brain to operate in order for the wasp to reproduce and be successful. Viruses, bacteria, all do the same to us. It's deep, guys. I don't know if you guys even put a chat out. I'm sorry if I went deep there. I'm a little high. What was I talking about? Viruses and stuff? You want me to keep talking about viruses? I'm going to get kicked off of YouTube if I keep talking about what I know in virology and stuff like that. As you already know, like, you're not allowed to say anything on this platform. You guys know if my lives go on to Odyssey as well? So I don't think lives I might have to record to put on Odyssey. Yeah, I don't know. Any more questions, guys? I have probably about 45 minutes or so of sunlight. So I definitely want to get this done as soon as possible. But I'm here to chill and chat. I'm home alone right now, so I'm bored. Trim jail. Yeah, I definitely did not expect to go this long live. Figured I was just going to do this one plant. I didn't expect anyone to even ask me anything. Last time I went live, I believe I was in the truck. I was in the middle of nowhere at the time, but I was able to get service. And I remember like 2 people showed up and asked me some things, and like, this is not what I thought it was going to be. I was like bored right now. Why not? Why not go live? Anyone here working out? Getting better physically? How about mentally? Reading anything? Learning anything? Spiritually? Are you more spiritually enlightened? Not for my content. Are you striving to be more physically, mentally, or spiritually better? I like the betterment of people. I like it when I see people striving to be of value to the world. That's encouraging. That's motivating. That's beautiful, right? I always like to hear anecdotes and stories about people who choose to make a difference, to be of value, to become better themselves because they know that it helps others. Because I think that's what life's about, really. Outside of the reproduction and the strongest genes and shit like that, really what we're all here to do is survive and thrive, right? And how are you going to thrive when we're all separate in different houses and not communicating? I think we should all unite and speak about our anecdotes and what makes us better people. Encouraging things. Like in the church, they talk about testimonies. I like testimonies, but it doesn't have to be like your God moment or an anecdote that brought someone to God or something like that. It could be anything. I mean, what did you do today? Did you have an hour workout? Did you go for a jog? Did you talk to that pretty lady down the street? What'd you do today? I kind of strive to do something fun every day, or something that is worthwhile. Because this life is so amazing and beautiful that even when I believe I'm like 70 years old, I'm still going to be doing things daily, checking things off bucket lists. There's just always something to do and strive for. I don't have any kids right now, but I think often of my kids and who I'm going to be as a grandfather. I don't even have kids. I always strive to be better and to encourage others to understand the full picture of things and the ramifications of what you see in your relationships, or if you play victim, or just be responsible and understand that life is worth living. Life is beautiful. It's wonderful. And we need to inherit that feeling of wonderful beauty, communication. In our communication with each other, instead of those, hey, what's up, bro? Let's go for a drink. Like horseshit. Like we're really not even talking to each other. We're just here to be here. And that's fine. But what really is beautiful is when people talk about something that's inherent, something deep, something meaningful, something that they are passionate about, betterment, becoming their greatest version, and encouraging others to be that way. Like I always encourage someone, if I see a good friend getting fat, I'm not keeping that to myself. It may come out in a variety of different ways, or like I could shame my friend. I could joke about it with my friend. I could talk to him about or her about the ramifications or the future of that person. There's a lot I can do there to better that person. And I believe communication is the key. And I don't think a lot of people are communicating or effectively communicating, because what we're really doing is we're on phones, and we may be in the same room, but we're watching TV. We're not really together, right? And when you're at the movie theater with a date or whatever, you're not talking, you're watching the movie. Like, we're so separate, and it shouldn't be that way. We should be able to look each other in the eye and say, hey, what are you doing? Without you being offended. Oh my God, why are you bringing up that I don't have a job or I'm homeless? I'll give you an example, because I know we ain't watching my shit. My brother is homeless. He's homeless. He got out of prison last year. Fucked up his job. He was promised a job by his uncle, my uncle. Did that job for a week. Was passed out in the grass, high on shit. Just, point is, after a year and a half, he's still homeless. He still doesn't have a job. And he has no care in the world for anybody else. Now, this is somebody that was raised in pretty much the same environment as me. Why did that light go on? Yo, that gave me goosebumps. It freaked me out. Maybe that was a sign not to say the story. But anyways, I'll say it anyways. My brother, what was I talking about? He's homeless. He doesn't do shit, right? He don't care about nobody. He doesn't want to get a job. He has every excuse in the book. He's just one of those people. Last week, I asked him to help me trim. His word said, yeah, I'll help you trim. Had him over at my place because I know he's homeless. You help me trim, I give you a place to stay. Not a bad deal, right? I mean, it might be on the couch, but it ain't a bad deal, right? So I bring him in. I say, hey, man, I'm going to do some trimming. You coming? You know, because I was going to show him how to trim and everything. He was like, yeah, let me, he has a phone. And he's always on that phone. Yeah, let me do something here. Let me take a shower. Let me do this. He always had this, let me do this before. Okay, an hour later, he would come in. Hey, man, can you smoke me up? Yeah, I can smoke you up. Of course. I got pounds of weed. Yeah, I can smoke you up. So I smoke him up. And this is a daily thing last week. Doesn't say anything about trimming. He'll just walk away after. As he sees that I'm trimming, he sees it's tedious. He sees it's boring. But the agreement was, I'll have you stay here as long as you're trimming, as long as you're working. We were brought up, you don't work, you don't eat. I just changed that to, you don't work, you ain't staying at my place. But that's how we were raised. You don't work, you don't eat. You don't eat. But now, he's so lazy, he always has an excuse. I go to do something. Hey, you coming with us? No, I got to shower first. I want to eat first. I'll come back. He hasn't showered. 4 hours later, he hasn't showered. Oh, I'm going to eat and shower now. He was on the phone the whole time. What are you doing on the fucking phone? How is that life? How is that living? How is that? How are you alive if you're on your phone? Unless you're communicating, whether you're like, what are you doing? But he's homeless. No job. So I'm on Craigslist almost every single day last week, showing him jobs. Hey, this one's room and board. Yeah, it's going to be on a cruise ship. You know, you can be in the culinary section or this housekeeping or whatever. You're on a cruise ship. You'll be out there for 2 months. You come back with $3,000 or $6,000 in your wallet. You'll have definitely enough to get a down payment on something just after your first time out. Like these great ideas. They pay for your room and board, and they probably pay for some food too. I don't know. You know, it's probably a boring time, but you do it. You need money, right? Like you're homeless and you need a job. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, they'll probably need a passport in a month, a vaccine passport, and every excuse in the book. Oh, parole doesn't want me out of town. Well, ask her. If you're actually going to be working something like this, this is not something you can go and get high and drunk and leave the, internationally and run away. You're on a cruise ship. Where are you going? Like, I think parole's going to be fine with you going to Alaska or whatever you have to go up to. Anyways, the point is every fucking excuse. And when confronted, it's always an excuse. So I know he's not going to get a job. His excuse is, well, I don't know where I'm going to be living, so why would I get a job in this part of town if I don't know if I'm going to be living in this part of town? Or just excuse after excuse. A real person would just go and get the fucking job, make it a priority, and say, this is who I'm going to be for the next at least 10 weeks so I got some money, right? Just something, right? Like, at least you have no money. You're eating off me for free. He was actually stealing my roommate's food, too. He was doing all types of shit, leaving shit everywhere, never doing his dishes, just a lazy bum, right? And I'm explaining this shit to him. And the other rule we have is you don't drink here, right? You don't drink at my house. This is not an alcoholic house. You do not drink here. Him specifically. Him. I can have a beer. I don't drink, but I could if I wanted to, was my point. My roommate can. If I have a friend, I have a lot of friends that come over. They can drink. I don't care. They're not going to be a problem, was my point. My brother's a problem. The reason he was in prison was because of drinking. Who he is when he's drinking is a problem. So instead of getting the job that I'm trying to help him for, look for a place to live, anything, instead of doing the thing he has to do when he has nothing left. He has nothing left. Instead of trying to find something to make money, to have food, he'd rather right swipe chicks on Tinder than get a job. Then he borrows money from my roommate, like $13 or something, because he has no food or whatever he convinced him. He immediately goes to the store and gets beer. It wasn't about food. See, him being homeless had nothing to do with his lack of motivation. Oh, man. It hurts my head thinking like that. When he will never realize what I realize, which is he's not going to get a job not because of all the excuses he makes up. It's because he doesn't want the job. It's too much work. He's lazy. He's a lazy fucking bum. It's not about food. He'd rather drink than eat. So what it really all boils down to is he doesn't care about anyone, not even himself, and he's ready to sink his own. Let me explain it to you like this. He's been sinking his ship. He's been putting holes in his ship that he lives on for years. When he got out of prison, he had some lifeboats on that ship. He had about 5-6 lifeboats. He put holes in all his lifeboats. Now that he's almost down and going, oh, I'm dying, I'm sinking, and blah, 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 going underwater, and he has no lifeboats, no way to save him, he sees my ship, he wants to start sinking my ship now. The warning signs were there years ago. And not even just warning signs, like obvious signs where it's not good. This guy's a fucking criminal drunk and don't care about anyone, and he's going to kill himself or others without fucking regard. But they exist out there, and I know why. Because having responsibility is scary. It's scary in a world where everyone's a moron. Leonardo da Vinci once said, I awoke to realize the rest of the world was still asleep. I've been feeling that way for 15 years. I felt that way when I was a child, too. When I was a young child, I thought I was smarter than the teachers. I knew I was smarter than the teachers. When I asked questions and they were like confused on why I would ask a question that was so obvious, how did Hitler kill 6 million Jews? How did he do it? That sounds like a crazy feat for one man to do. And no one stopped him? I had questions. My teacher couldn't believe it. My teacher's like, that's just what we have to teach you guys. You understand? It's responsibility. It's separating yourself from the like mind of morons. I don't know what else to say. Have you guys even said anything to me? Are you guys even watching? I don't even know. Anyways, let's go back to the fun stuff. I don't even know what I was saying. Maybe I shouldn't get high on the live. But if I didn't get high, I wouldn't be talking stuff. I would be so done with this shit by now. I don't like talking for 2.5 hours straight. Some people do. Not me. I wish I could just keep the chat up. Why can't I do that? Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. You think an anarchist gives a fuck about your guidelines, YouTube? If you're gonna shut me down, you shut me down. It is what it is. You guys want to shut me down anyways. Thanks for the chat, Patricia. Might try to smoke some more wet weed. That actually got me a good upper. You guys like cannabis? I sure do like my cannabis. Man, I feel like I'm boring you guys. Probably am. Yeah. Feel free to ask any question. If you want a subject matter you want me to make a video on at some point. Whatever. If you just want to stop in and say hi. Look at all this fucking larf. I got a lollipop. More. That's the worst. I just chop off all the larf. Fuck the larf. It ain't even worth it. I got fucking so much of the shit. I think I have five of these plants. Yeah, five Blue Dream from Clone. Then I have one White Widow I still got to get to, and got one White Widow and two more Blue Dream. And those two Blue Dream are the best. Oh my God, they're fat buds. I didn't think Blue Dream can even get a yield that much. This is what Blue Dream's supposed to be. If you ever seen a Blue Dream plant, they're all small little bullshits. Every time. Except for those two back there. The cape? You don't have to give me a cape, man. I wouldn't wear just a cape anyways. That's just goofy shit. I at least got to wear shorts, right? But yeah, I mean, I could wear a cape next time. Don't bother me none. Now, you guys actually have to go into probably your subscriptions feed to notice that I'm live, because I'm sure even if you have the bell icon clicked, I think that I still won't show up. I'm pretty sure I won't. Yeah, you guys got to probably go to subscription feed just to even know I was live. And if you guys like this kind of style, I'm going to be trimming the next couple days anyways, or at least tomorrow. I might even be done by tomorrow. No, 2 more days. Got 2 more days to trim. I might go live tomorrow. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what's going on. Trim jail sucks. And there's only so many podcasts I can tolerate. You know what I mean? And no one helps me trim either, so that it even takes longer. Why don't they help you trim, Opex? Because trimming sucks. It really does. The very first time I ever trimmed cannabis, I was like, yeah, this ain't worth it. I'll just pay my $200 an ounce for this nice shit for the rest of my life. I don't need to grow. That's why everyone fails and then gives up. Yeah, I think it might be that time, huh? Cut you off. Last call for any questions, I think, before this is fucking 3 hours. You guys know I can talk for 3 hours, but I don't know about what. Yeah, I can talk for 3 hours. I just got to get some trimming done, I guess. Someone share your anecdotes. Give me a story. I flushed 2 weeks. Actually, sorry. I switched to organics this last run. So I don't feed it salts. I feed it organic amendments, and I do a right at like pre-flower time, like right when you switch 12-12, but before you see pistils, I'll add like a 4-4-4 kind of thing, like a all-purpose, and then about 4 weeks in to flower, 4 weeks from that time period, I'll give it a good bloom boost of organic amendments, like these kind of guys, flower fuel, stuff like that. And I'll put that in, and that's about it. So, but usually I would do a 2 week flush if I do salts, which would be like the GH shit, which I don't do anymore. Oh, like these guys got the try thing. And I add kale mag, and that's it. I don't use the salts unless I have to. So let's say I'm keeping it in a 1 gallon bucket, and it probably should be in a bigger bucket, but I don't have space or something, or if for whatever reason, and I start seeing yellowing on the lower leaves, I'll add some salts, but that's about the only time. If I see yellowing on the leaves and I need to increase the bucket size and I don't have room, stuff like that. That's the only time I'll feed it inorganic nutrients. That's why good growers are pretty much they grow how nature intended. Because if the solution's too salty, the plant can't uptake nutrients, and then you're hurting your yield. That's why you don't use salts. That's why 99% of growers fail. It's because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Not saying you, obviously. I'm just saying people who use salts and stuff. All right, I think we're almost done, guys. I know I said that, but I might keep you the whole time until I'm done with this. So why not? Probably have another 20 minutes. Oh, not even. Probably not even 20 minutes. Fucking larf. And if you guys want, you can check me out on the Weed Tube. Look up the Weed Tube. I'm under Opex. In case you guys were interested in my Weed Tube channel. Just in case. Ah, no, not like this. Yeah, I think we should do like a call-in show one day. I'll give you guys like my app. I have an app on my phone that gives free texting and calls. I might just set up an account there, and maybe we can do a live or something where we're just taking phone calls or something. I don't know. I'd like to be more active on YouTube. It's just they make it difficult. Just cut off all that larf. We don't need it. Yeah, this is one of those strains right here that the quality is so high, I don't mind the low yields. And it's actually not even that low of a yield. Some of the shit on the bottom's larfy. But I had autoflowers that fucking had monster buds. Way bigger than these ones. I wish I could show you. I could show you some other ones we got. Maybe not today. We can't get to that 3-hour mark. Just cut off all the larf. Cut it all off. You don't need it. God, I hate this fucking trim shit. Okay, we're almost done. Am I gonna beat the 3-hour? Think it's gonna be close. I feel like there's less YouTube's gonna do to censor my lives. I think it's better to just do live shit. Maybe? I don't know. Alright, last bud. Oh no, 25 seconds. Oh, it's not gonna be a perfect job. Whatever. That's good enough. Come on. Alright. And I hate when buds look like this structure. Okay. All right, guys. That's enough for one video. Check out more videos on my channel and subscribe if you like this shit, and hit that bell notification and shit, and subscribe to my channel and shit, and like the channel and shit, and it's Opex and shit. I'll see you guys. Now, how do I get out of this shit? Maybe the X? I'll see you guys another time. See ya!